Hi everyone, my name is Shantae at Master Wealth Builders LLC. I'm a wealth strategist here. For those of you that are not familiar with me, I started my career in finance in 2001, February, 6 months before 9/11 occurred. The reason I'm coming to you today is because through my journey and years in finance and just being an adult in society, we have seen three major economical crises. And with these economical crises, it caused people to lose a lot of money in the stocks and in the market because of market uncertainty, not knowing what the outcome of the situation was going to be. And I promised myself early in my career that I would try to help people to not fall under circumstances or hard times, like where people wanted to retire during those years, but they had to go back to work for 5 to 10 years just to make back their losses, or had to come out of retirement just to make ends meet due to recession or inflation. So I want to make sure people are aware of their history, understanding what they have and what they don't have, and then also knowing what your options are. Because of my experience, because I've done traditional investing, securities, and national banking, I've pretty much done it all throughout my career, being on market, off market, or being a financing professional for more than 20 years, so on and so forth. So what I do is teach advanced strategy or strategies that can help protect you and blanket you during any type of economical challenge, hardship, medical hardship, different things. Because of things that I've seen what clients have experienced, I've actually experienced my own hardships over the years in certain type of situations. So my goal was to make sure I have the tools and the knowledge to be able to assist others so you don't have to have the same things happen to you. Right now, everybody that's listening, you need to stop losing money in the market. You don't have to ride out market uncertainty. There are diversification of portfolio options where you can move either qualified or non-qualified funds out of a brokerage or a retirement account into other vehicles that will protect your principal balance and your bottom lines, and to do it without having to pay any fees as well. So talking to a licensed professional that might be outside of the scope of your general financial advisor or just going to the bank may be helpful. As a licensed and registered tax professional, I'm able to tell you and give you information about tax strategy in regards to, transitioning or making certain moves when it comes to moving your money to protect you from penalty as well too. One of the things that people don't realize is that the 401ks, 457s, 403bs, or Cs were created out of an environment where taxes were at its all-time highest. It was called the Revenue Act of 1978. So 401ks and retirement plans of those natures weren't in effect at that time. Before that, it was, you would either have a job that would give you a good pension, or people dependent on Social Security to secure or being able to make it through their retirement years. But what people didn't count on was the rate of inflation and different economical changes that continue to make it harder. So when that act was passed, you got to understand tax rates were at its highest. So if you were in a high tax bracket, and I'm not talking about what people think 35% is high now, I'm talking about anywhere from 70 to 80, and even at one point in the 70s, the tax rates reached 90%. Could you imagine coming home and your paycheck was 70% taxed? So those people were storing their eggs tax deferred to open them or to hatch them during a time like this, when our taxes are at its all-time lowest rates. So now the people that have retired from those years of savings, they're getting distributions out of those tax-coded vehicles at a lower tax rate. Now, for those of us that are currently working in this current economy, we might only be in our 20s, 30s, 40s, or even 50s. More than likely, we're not going to get to retire at that low tax rate. So we have to plan accordingly. And any additional economic disruption on top of what we're already experiencing, whether it's inflation, recession, or any other, tax hikes, we won't have the same outcome with using a tax coded vehicle. Not saying there's nothing wrong with it. Now, if an employer gives you a match, I always say take the match, but no, you can diversify your portfolio. You just don't have to take your employer retirement plan. You can self-direct your own retirement plan or have more than one retirement plan. So the one thing I could say as a licensed professional that I know works, because there's only three things that give you guaranteed income in life, and that is a pension, which is slim to none these days. Most employers don't even offer a pension anymore. And I was going to say second thing is at the moment Social Security. But at the end of the day, I've told people 10 years ago, don't count on Social Security either, because Social Security was something also enacted by Congress that can and possibly be reversed, but we don't know what's going to happen there yet. And the third thing that guarantees income is an annuity. And what I want to do today is break the myth of annuity, because sometimes people think of annuities been around since forever, for hundreds of years. It's made it through the Great Depression. It's made it through wars. It's been around since many, many years ago. So it has withstood the test of time. If you put your money into an annuity, you are not going to lose that. And don't get it twisted. There are many types of annuities. There are variable annuities that are on the market, but I'm not referencing those particular annuities. I'm referencing fixed index annuities. And the difference with the fixed index annuity, it 100% secures your principal, meaning when the market goes up, you'll get credits towards the market. You can actually still earn it. You don't have to just do a 100% fixed rate strategy. You still can manage and design your own strategy, and quote unquote, without management fees. Because when you're dealing with Fidelity or 401ks, Vanguard, you're being charged fees for them to manage your accounts, and you're still going up and down in the market. But when the market goes down below zero, it locks up and you don't get any losses or take any losses, but you get to ride it up when it goes up. So I just want to make sure people are clear of what they can do. So for example, if you were a person that just recently lost your employment and transitioned to an employment, or maybe you're over the age of 59 and a half and you have the option to move some things around without penalty, you could roll over your money or do partial conversions from a Roth into a fixed index annuity. And in a fixed index annuity, upon rollover, there are vehicles right now from number one top rated trusted institutions that have been around also for many, many years that are not going under. They are offering up to 5 to 10% bonus on the money you roll over. So say, for example, you were a federal worker, you just lost your job. I had a client a couple months prior to this, lost her contract with Lockheed Martin, and I did do a rollover for her, because she's over the age of 50, she doesn't want to go to another job. She was in her career for over 20 years. So now she can use the money to be able to start a business. She was able to cover 6 months of her expenses to get her through to pay her rent, mortgage bills, toiletries, and daily life expenses while she was making the transition. And then she was also to take some money and start a life insurance policy for her and her 2 children's. And the bigger part of a strategy is to also put it in a trust. Now she's created her own kind of like, I call it infinite banking system, but she's created a nest egg that's protected, and she was able to avoid the issues of having to pay higher taxes on the money that she did roll over and take a withdrawal on. Now, the thing is, if you withdraw out of your 401k or tax coded vehicle, you are going to get a penalty for that, especially if you're under the age of 59 and a half. So there's a strategy of doing it where you can roll it over upon putting it in an annuity, request back a check from the company saying, hey, I'm rolling over $500,000. I want 50,000 of it back because I want to pay bills. I want to start a business, or I want to leverage the money that I have to make it work for me and still be able to keep my principal. And because that person was getting a 10% interest on her rollover, that means the 50,000 that she took out, she pretty much just got it back, because the $450,000 that was left gave her $45,000 from day one, just from rolling over and not counting the interest rate. And right now, interest rates are anywhere between 5 and 8.5% on annuities, depending on how you design it. So if you want to learn more, that's just one option. I'm not saying there's more out there. I do know something called a 5-year retirement plan, but I'll talk about that in another segment. So my contact information is below. Now, you can talk to any licensed professional. I'm really just trying to educate the public. let you know what your options are. But if you want to talk to me, I'm here for you. I'll be dropping more information, more videos, so you can learn more. Have a blessed day.